Hey basketball coaches and basketball players, my name is Alan from Al's Basketball Training, and today I'm going to talk to you about, well, the Toronto Raptors, their warm-up techniques when it comes to shooting a basketball, what they do before games, before practices, because I was recently at one of their coaches' open houses, so definitely this is a video for you if you are a basketball player looking to be able to shoot the basketball better. So, going from there, right now today I'm in Fort Lauderdale Beach, Florida. It's a fantastic basketball court. You get to see the sunrise, which I got to see today, which is beautiful. But we're right on the beach. There's sand, there's water. You get to cool down after a game of basketball. So first off, I'd like to say thanks to Wooter, which is the company that gave me a lot of swag recently. I'm wearing their shorts today, which is really good. If you've got a basketball team, definitely go check them out. They've got a really great app for teams, but also different style jerseys and things like that. But today we're going to be talking about what the Toronto Raptors do when they're warming up before a game and before practice, and some of the tactics that they use. Okay, so when I was at the Toronto Raptors basketball coaches open house, basically the first thing that the players did, Marc Gasol was the first player on the court. We weren't allowed to record any videos, so obviously I can't show you that today. However, what he did and what the rest of the Raptors did was get 1 inch from the basket and just do form shooting. And what they were going for was swishes. And the earlier players got a couple of more shots, so take that as a tip. If you want to become a really great basketball player, get on the basketball court before anyone else. Get an extra 10, 20, 30 shots up before the rest of your team so that when you get into the game, you're going to be able to take those shots a little bit more consistently. So once they finished that 1 inch drill, they got right in the middle of the key and they started taking more shots. Now, this is what we call form shooting as basketball coaches. A lot of basketball coaches don't teach form shooting, and you generally want to do this every single practice. You want to have all your players get their form down, take a few steps back, take a few more shots, and again, get their shots going, get their form going, so that when it gets to the game or the practice, they're firing on all cylinders, no pun intended. And then once they were finished their form shooting closer to the basket, the team and the players started moving back and they got to the free throw line. And this is when it started getting timed. So they put 60 seconds up on the clock and then they started shooting. So they had a couple of rebounders. So if you have a couple of rebounders, that's perfect. If you don't, then you're gonna have to go rebound yourself, but you're gonna take a few shots. And you're gonna be going for 60 seconds, trying your best to get swishes. Once that 60 seconds is up, you're going to take a few steps back to the three-point line. Now, what they did was they took a few steps back and was within a foot of their three-point line. Obviously, the three-point line in the NBA is quite a bit farther than high school and college. However, at the same time, it doesn't matter. Take a few shots from your three-point line. If you want, you can go a few steps in, go 60 seconds, and then take a step back. But what I would personally do if you're at the high school level is take your 60 seconds from the three-point line, cycle through the players, and then go to NBA range. So now when I was with the Raptors, one of the things that what they really preached with all of their players was being able to shoot with the perfect form. Now, of course, there's Hollis Jefferson, who doesn't exactly have the most perfect form, but what you need to do is practice close up your nice form, the elbow underneath the ball, having extension straight through, having the ball roll off that middle finger, and it's going to give you a straight shot. Of course, you want to have your body squared to the basket as well, but this is kind of the basics right there. So once you make it back to the NBA range, generally speaking, an easy way to gauge is like roughly one big step back, and that's basically NBA range. If you go a couple of inches beyond that, you've got yourself an NBA range three-point shot. Now you're saying, my coach, or in general, why would I want to take a shot back farther in high school if the NBA or if the three-point range is here? Why would I want to extend my range? Well, there's one really easy reason for that. As a defensive player, you're going to not really defend players this far back, and if you can be consistent from that far back, jack that shot up. And now that defender needs to come out and actually defend you at that range. And now you're opening up many different possibilities for assists, for passes, get that ball into the low post, and you've stretched out that defense. If you are a really great shooter, there's no better time than right now to play basketball at a competitive level. You need to go out, play at your high school levels. You need to try and find the higher high school or the better high school possible if you can try and get into that school. Obviously, that sometimes is a stretch. Play at the AAU level. If you're in the States, rep in Canada. And what you need to do is go out and try to find the top teams in your area and try out for those teams. Obviously, it's a little bit easier to make it farther in basketball if you're playing at a higher level. The reason for that is because if you're looking at a scout's going to be looking at a few different things. Obviously, you're playing skill, you're playing ability, but also how do you perform up against some of the top talent in your area as well as nationally. So, being able to shoot is a very important skill. Every single NBA team, every single college team is looking for that. If you can expand the defense, if you can pull out the defense, especially if they're playing a zone, and you can pull them out outside of the three-point line, you're doing something good. You're going to be opening up passing lanes. Shooting isn't everything. You can get those nice passes. So definitely practice your shooting form, elbow underneath the ball, have it flick off that middle finger, and then have your body square to the basket, have your feet as straight as possible towards that basket, and you will have yourself huge success when it comes to playing basketball, especially the higher levels you get to. I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again later or tomorrow for another twice a day basketball video.
Like that?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. So you're teaching the perfect shot?
Yeah. Well, in this video I am, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, yeah. We know the perfect shot because we know
Well, you're from Europe, and that's all they teach over there for the last 20 years.
Yeah. But as you see, it's like Luka Doncic. He's got the perfect.
Exactly.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Well, have a nice day.
You too.